I know I can't miss the bus again, but I've got so much to pray for. I can't do it all before I need to leave.
Praying is a really good thing, but remember, you can pray anywhere. Hi, and welcome to a brand new week of stories and scriptures just for you here on Keys for Kids. You know, I used to think that God only heard my prayers if I was kneeling down or if I had my hands folded and eyes closed. Now, that's not a bad way to pray, but God hears all of your prayers all the time. You can pray while you're walking to school or while you're in the lunch line, and you can even pray while you're doing something fun like playing in the park. Psalm 18:6 says it like this, "In my distress I called to the Lord. I cried to my God for help. From his temple he heard my voice. My cry came before him into his ears." Our story today is entitled, "Don't Miss the Bus." "Zane, your bus is coming," Mom called. "Don't miss it again today." "I'm almost done, Mom," Zane called back from his room. "Zane, the bus is here. Hurry." "I'm coming. I just have to." Zane heard the roar of his bus leaving without him. He trudged into the kitchen. "I'm sorry, Mom," he said, knowing she'd have to drive him to school again. That meant bundling up his little sisters and getting them strapped into their car seats. On the drive to school, Mom asked, "What were you doing that made you late?" "I had a lot to pray about," Zane answered. "Uncle Marty lost his job and Grandma's sick, and other stuff too." "Okay," said Mom, "but you can pray anywhere, on the bus or walking to class." "I know Jesus hears me wherever I am," said Zane, "but I like to pray like Grandpa does, by his bed every morning. He told me kneeling is a way to show that Jesus is king, and that's cool." Zane paused. "Plus, I noticed that sometimes Jesus answers Grandpa's prayers really fast." Mom smiled. "I remember Grandpa praying on his knees when I was growing up," she said as they pulled up to the school. "Let's talk more about this tonight." At dinner, Zane told his dad why he'd missed the bus that morning. "Zane, I want to be sure you know Jesus hears your prayers because you're his child and he loves you, not because of where and when you pray," Dad told him. "He's delighted to hear your voice, and he answers prayers when the time is right, not because we rush him." Dad leaned back in his chair. "You know, one of my favorite Bible stories is about a man who got a speedy answer to his prayer, even though he wasn't kneeling. Peter walked on the water to Jesus, but when he looked away, he started to sink and cried out, 'Lord, save me.' Immediately, Jesus rescued him." "Cool," Zane said. "I'm glad we can pray anywhere and Jesus hears us, but if I start earlier, can I still pray by my bed before school?" "Of course. It's good to get into the habit of praying every day," said Mom. "Just don't miss the bus." So how about you? Have you ever wondered if praying a certain way would make God hear you and answer your prayer? God hears you no matter where you are, and you can pray to him anytime. And remember that prayer is about talking to Jesus and sharing your heart with him, not trying to coax him into answering a prayer the way you want. Spend time praying every day, knowing God hears you and will answer in the way that's best. Our key verse once again, Psalm 18, verse 6.
In my distress, I called to the Lord. I cried to my God for help. From his temple, he heard my voice. My cry came before him, into his ears.
And our key thought today, you can pray anywhere. If you want an easy way to make time for God every day, then just ask Alexa to play the Keys for Kids podcast. Then you can listen to Keys for Kids wherever you have an Echo device, like in the kitchen when you're eating lunch or at bedtime just before you go to sleep. Just ask Alexa, play the Keys for Kids podcast. I'm Zach.